Hey everybody, this is Frilioth and welcome to episode 3 of the Minecraft Survival Manual. In this episode I'm going to talk a little bit about resource gathering. Now, resources can mean a multitude of things. I mean, pretty much anything and everything you see in the world is a resource in one way or another. But I think that at the beginning there are a few resources that are a little bit more important early game than others. What I mean by that is you probably don't really need obsidian this early on in the game. You don't want to be going to the nether until you've got a decent amount of armor and decent weapons and that kind of thing. So obsidian, although it's a resource, probably isn't vital early game. Whereas things like wood and things like iron and coal are valuable resources. So we're going to gather some more of those today. Going to get a little bit more wood, probably going to get a little bit more coal. I'm not too worried at the moment about mining for iron and stone and that stuff because my base is underground. If I were to extend my base in any direction, I'm going to gather stone and I'm going to probably bump into coal. So I'm not too worried about that. However, with me being underground, I am a little bit worried about wood. So I'll gather a little bit more wood today. But what I also want to do today is make myself a boat. And I've noticed that this river goes around. Just to mention as well, I wasn't going to stay here. I was going to go off somewhere else. But I've had a quick shifty around and this place is not that bad. So I think I'm probably going to stay here and I'll make my base in the side of that wall there, the side of that hill. So I think I will be staying here. So I'm going to grab myself a boat and I'm going to head off around this river to see where it takes me. And I'm looking for a specific resource as well as the wood. I want to see if I can find some kelp. And I'll explain a little bit more later when I get some kelp. So what I want to do first is I'm going to eat. And also try not to eat raw meat. It doesn't give you anywhere near as much saturation as if you cook it. And we'll talk a little bit more again about cooking food while you're out and about later. But at the moment I've got a furnace, so I'm not worried about that. What I want to do then straight away is grab myself some wood, grab myself some sugar cane, which we found earlier, and I'm going to make myself a boat. Now, again, once you run through water, you'll have the recipe for a boat. But if you don't, then that's the recipe for a boat. So we're going to grab ourselves a boat. I'm going to put that back in the wrong chest. Frills, well done. Put that back in that chest there. So I've got my boat. I've got my sugarcane. Sugarcane needs to be planted next to water. You can plant it on sand, you can plant it on dirt. Doesn't make any difference. It doesn't grow any quicker on sand or dirt. You can't place it on gravel, so it has to be sand or dirt. And you can't place it in the corner as well. The adjacent block has to be water. So I can't place it there, but I can place it there. So I'm just going to throw down all my sugar cane, so hopefully when I come back that will be grown up a little bit and I can turn that into paper, which is very, very important. Now, before you go exploring anywhere in Java especially, because I don't think you can do this in Bedrock, but get to where your base is, press F3 and make a note of your coordinates. Okay, my current coordinates are -95, 105. So I'm going to make a note of that, because there is nothing worse than jumping in your boat and flying off here, there and everywhere and not knowing where you are. So I also need to grab a few torches, which I don't have. We'll grab some of those. Make some torches for when I'm out and about. So I'm going to grab myself a little bit of wood to start with, because I'm off exploring out into ye olde wilderness. It's going to be handy taking logs with me, because if you take logs, you can pretty much make anything you need to survive. Are there any bad guys down there? Not today. So wood is the easiest way to carry wood. Wood logs are the easiest way to carry wood. And what I'm going to do while I'm here is just torch this entrance up a little bit. Oh! Okay, enough of torching that up a little bit. Right, grab myself a little bit more wood. Keep a lookout. Look out for angry pigs. Right, well, it's dark o'clock again, so I'm going to have to head down and wait out the night because I'm certainly not going anywhere while it's dark. So, sweet dreams, everybody. So I've waited out the night and, yeah, night's gone. Got a couple of saplings here, which I'm just going to stick back down again. Oh, look, a couple of twigs as well. Always replant your saplings. Just good practice. Oh! Jeez Louise, I forgot all about him. And he didn't despawn, did he? Oh, he's going to burn up now because he's in the sun. Can we see that? Before he does? No. Oh, no, he is. There he is. I'm playing with fire here. I really shouldn't be doing this. Because they're really good shots. Why aren't you coming outside? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and make myself a shield. When you've got no armor, a shield is the next best thing. So grab yourself an iron ingot and some planks. Get yourself over to your crafting table and you want to do a little Y like that with a bit of iron at the top, and you get yourself a shield and put that in your offhand. Go and put this wood back, sticks back. So if I replace the torches with my shield, I can now block. And we'll talk about this later when we talk about combat and fighting. But now I can block, which means that I should be able to get close enough to the skelly without him being able to shoot me. But they don't like getting close. You get an achievement as well for blocking. There you go, look at that. I'm the man. And what that also means is I've now got some bones, which is phenomenal. I'm going to go resource gathering in a minute. I really am. But with bones, we can turn bones into bone meal. So if we put bones... Whoa, bite me to death. There you go, there's bone meal. So if we turn all of that into bone meal, I can now bone meal my crops. Which makes them grow quicker. Bone meal. It's a winner. And now I can harvest the crops that I've got. Only harvest the crops that are fully grown. If you harvest crops that aren't fully grown, you'll only get back the seeds. So you'll have wasted all the time. So now you can see I've got 22 crops. I can plant a few more of those. Fabulous. Right, so what was I doing? I was taking my boat around here. I've got my coordinates, so I know where I'm going. I'm now going to whiz around here and see where this takes us. And again, if you press forward, you go forward. You can look left and right and all of that. The left and right buttons, the D and the A button on your keys on your mouse, on your keyboard, make you go from left to right. But also, if you press the shift key while you're in your boat, you go a little bit quicker. And this doesn't affect your health or your hunger, sorry. So you can go really quickly in a boat, and unlike when you're running, it won't affect your hunger. Now I can see our little friends up there, so I'm afraid I don't have any iron, so you can't help me, can you? I'm always going to get... Oh, I've got 4 wool. Fabulous. So we can go back and make a bed in a minute. Right, so where was I? I want to go through this. I'm going to have to dig myself. This is going to be very painful for a lot of you, and I'm sorry, but I don't have a shovel. Grab some of that as well. As I mentioned right at the beginning, always use the right tool for the right job, and I don't have the right tool for the right job, which is a shame. Right, so let's go through here. Carry on to see what we shall see. Now I'm looking, as I mentioned, for... Oh, look at you. Hello, fella. I'm not too worried about you at the moment. I'm looking for sugar cane. Oh, I can't get through here either. Dagnabbit. What I'm going to do, because this is painful, I'm going to make myself a little crafting table. I'm going to make myself a shovel. Now, really, you don't want to be leaving these crafting tables about in the world because they look a little bit ropey. But if I'm being entirely honest, they're so easy to make, it's probably not a bad thing to just leave them lying around. That there, make myself a wooden shovel temporarily, because a wooden shovel is better than a stone pick. There you go. So we're off again. Okay. Fabulous. Some more sugar cane. You can never have too much. Oh, can you see what I can see? Can you see what I see? Now, I'm not going to be able to breathe very much in the water because I don't have a decent helmet on, so I can't really go down to the bottom. However, can get some of this stuff, but you've got to be careful of drowned. So we'll jump in. We'll just break a few at the bottom. If you break them a little, if you break them one up, then they'll grow again. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh. Be careful. It's easy to do. It's easy to go down to the bottom, forget what your breath is, and before you know it, you're out of breath and you're dead. All right, so now I've just got to wait for a couple of seconds, let all of that lovely, lovely kelp come all the way to the top, and then just whiz around and get it. Okay, so how many is that? Which is that I've got? I've got plenty. I've got enough to start with. That's fantastic. Right, so in my resource gathering stage, I'm going to grab some sand while I'm out here. Probably grab as much as I can with this shovel before it breaks. Oh, careful with sand, haven't you? There you go. So now it's broken. Have we got a stack of it? Not quite. I'm just going to punch a little bit more sand just to get a stack. Oh, to get a stack. Okay, so it's getting a little bit dark. So what I'm going to do now, because I'm out and about and it's too far for me to get back, I'm going to make myself another crafting table, which is why you bring your logs. Off a crafting table, stick that down, put my 3 wool, put my 3 planks, make myself a nice bed. And this serves 2 purposes. Firstly, it makes the day go all the way back round to dawn again, so you don't get mobs spawning around you. And also, also, you've got to get out of the way of those things. I thought I'd slept. I am bang in trouble. I am literally bang in trouble. Oh, I really thought. That's frightened me to death. Oh, dear me. Oh, did I squeal like a girl then? If you don't sleep for 3 nights, those phantoms turn up. I'm not going to be able to show you them because I can't. Let me eat something. So what I've really got to sleep now. So I'm going to put my bed down there. Always try and keep a 2 gap block above your head when you sleep, because if you don't, when you jump out of bed, you will take damage. So I'm going to sleep there. Wow. That did for me, that did. Right, we've got to be careful as well before we go straight outside, because they will be up in the air. And they will, they'll burn up. There you go. Listen to that noise. That noise is awful. That's a terrifying noise. However, they don't, as a rule, attack you when they're on fire. Wow. That was really scary and very unexpected. Since I was going to say because I'd already slept, but obviously I hadn't slept. And this is my 3rd or 4th night out, so... Be warned. Crikey. I did. That shook me up, that did. Right, so I've made my bed. I've got some sand. I'll get a little bit more sand. Got my sand. I'll grab my crafting table. I'll get back in my bed. Grab that little bit of kelp. And then we'll make our way back to the base. Really, really did. You won't believe how much that shook me up. Now, as a rule, retreat is the most sensible option. So if you're out and you hear those squealing demons above you and you've got no armor, just dig a hole, dig underground. You know, just get yourself just undercover, because they can't get to you if you're undercover. But out in the open with no armor against phantoms is a death sentence. You just will not survive. Hello, squids. So now I'm back at my base. What I'm going to do now is just spam down a load of kelp. And this will grow in any water on pretty much any block. So initially I'm just going to throw a lot down. Oh, look at that. That's interesting, isn't it? Look what we found. Something for us to investigate later. Now, obviously, these I'll say obviously. Now, the kelp will grow, potentially can grow up to 25 blocks tall. But it depends on the age, and I'll talk about ages of this when we start farming it properly. But for the time being, having it in a couple of high gap is not ideal, but it's better than not having it at all. So I've put down my stack of kelp. And now we've just got to wait for that to grow. What I want to do with the other kelp is I want to turn it into dried kelp. Now you can eat dried kelp, but it's not very nourishing. It's pretty poor as a food source. It's probably the worst food source out there. But what it is really good for, grab some coal. What it's really good for is fuel. So if we throw in a stack of kelp there and throw in some fuel, like that, this will eventually turn into dried kelp. Now, 9 of those dried kelp make a kelp block, and 1 kelp block will smelt 20 items. Now, hopefully you can see where I'm going here. 9 kelp make a kelp block. 1 kelp block will smelt 20 items. Okay, you see where I'm going? So 1 kelp block will smelt 20 kelp, which will then turn into 2 kelp blocks and a little bit left over, which will then smelt 40 kelp, which will turn into yada yada yada. You can do the maths, I'm sure, by yourself. So kelp is a really, really, really good resource, and one of the resources you should be trying to get as early on as you can, because now we have got an infinite amount of fuel. Okay, so I've got my 9 kelp. What I've also done then is taken the coal out. We can now use our coal for more important things like torches, because you can't use kelp for torches. So we'll make ourselves a kelp block. Throw the kelp block back in there. And as I mentioned, that will now smelt 20 of those bad boys, which is ideal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw myself down another furnace. Go down 2 furnaces. And then I can start smelting my glass. And I can start smelting a little bit of food. Okay, while that's cooking, I just want to run out and I want to do something. I just want to... Oh, did I mention the other day that spiders aren't hostile towards you during the day? I think I did, actually. As long as they're not hostile. If they start chasing you at night, they'll continue during the day. But during the day, unless you whack them, they're non-hostile. So what I want to do now, somebody mentioned in the comments the other day, I really appreciate your comments, and I will read all of them. Oh, look, we've got some sugarcane while we're here. I'll read all the comments, so please leave a comment or a question or anything. It's just fantastic to know that you're watching. So we'll just break this while I'm here. Wolf over there, but I don't currently have any more bones. Replant a little bit more sugarcane. Now you might have seen I just quickly popped that into my hand, and again I can't remember whether I told you or not, but we put that somewhere else in our inventory. If you look at a block and you've got it in your inventory and you click the middle mouse button, the wheel, the scroll, it'll put it straight into your hand, as long as you have it in your inventory, that is. So that's just a good thing to know. I'm just going to throw this down, and then I want to run off and grab myself some pork, because I do know there are pigs up on top of here. So we'll go and go and beat up a few pigs. Because as I mentioned in the people have mentioned in the comments that why did I make a furnace when I could have probably made a campfire? And I just want to go through why I, as a rule, don't make campfires. There they are, the little pink things. Hello, fellas. Oh, got to be careful around wolves. Don't go whacking things around wolves. I'm no good at fighting. You jump. There you go. Critical hit. You killed them quicker. But it's all in the timing, and obviously my timing is poor. Oh, there you go. That wasn't that bad, was it? Right, so I've got my creeper. Look at him. I'm going to show you something with the creeper as well, especially if you've got a shield. Where's he gone? I've got my shield, and you put your shield up. You can raise your shield by right-clicking, and you put your shield up. So if we go and aggro this creeper now, this is not something I was going to show you, but I'm going to. If we aggro him now, and then put your shield up, you take no damage from the resulting explosion, although it does do a lot of mess around your base. Now in the update as well, any damage caused by explosions, the blocks will drop 100% of whatever's been damaged. In the past that wasn't the case, so you'd always have massive holes in your world. Now you can fill them in again if you want to. Anyway, I just thought to show you that because I thought it was quite interesting. So campfires. Campfires will cook food. If you're out and about and you've got a campfire, it'll cook food without any fuel. But in order to make a campfire, you need a crafting bench, and you also need a lump of coal. So I've got a lump of coal. You'll need 3 sticks. So I've got my 3 sticks. So you'll need 3 logs along the bottom. 3 logs along the bottom. You'll need a piece of coal just there, and then you'll need 3 sticks over the top, and that makes you a campfire. So now we've got our campfire, but you've got to be really careful, because if you put it down now, you can't pick it up unless you've got a silk touch tool. So if I were to put it down here, I can now cook on that. So if I put my pork chops, if I right click on it, I can put my pork chops around the side of the campfire. It takes quite a while for them to cook, but they will cook. So you can cook them while you're out and about with no fuel. However, and I'll show you when I've cooked the bacon. I'll show you when the pork chops are cooked. The pork chops are now cooked. They've been spat off. Everybody's happy. But if I want to go somewhere else now and I try and break this, all I do is get back 2 pieces of charcoal. So that, as a rule, is why I don't make campfires early game, because it's easier to just make yourself a furnace. So that's what I do. Throw that back in there. I'm going to run over there and grab a little bit more wheat. I've noticed it's grown. Beautiful. So I think we'll call it a day for today then, everybody. Thank you very, very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to leave it a like. And don't forget to pop over to see how Avo has dealt with this resource gathering problem early game. I'm sure he's had a load of fun. So again, thank you for watching. And if you have enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like it. If you've really loved it, don't forget to subscribe. This is Frilioth with my shield. And I'm out of here.